Hey people, this is a new type of video that I'm trying out here. If you're a subscriber, you probably know that one of the video types that I do is reporting on big things that I find significant in the world of entertainment news, usually having to do with comic book movies, like the announcement of an actor playing a role or the unveiling of the first pictures or something like that. But there's not always something big like that going on, and the other type of videos that I do usually take a while to get together and format, so there are often kind of droughts in the videos where I just don't put anything out for quite some time. So with this new format, I just am going to try to comment on smaller things that I may not dedicate a whole video to, and just kind of collect them into one video every week, hopefully. Sort of like what Philip DeFranco does with his videos on a daily basis. So hopefully you'll enjoy this new format and give me some feedback. For starters, Call of Duty Modern Warfare 3 came out this week and it's breaking all sorts of records. I'll be honest, you could characterize me as a Call of Duty hater. I don't really dislike Call of Duty as a game series, and over time I've realized that my annoyance with the series isn't really with the series itself, it's with all the fanboys who just kind of make it into this bigger thing that is giving it more credit than I feel it deserves, honestly. Like, I feel like a lot of the fan base of Call of Duty are these like drone fanboys who just play shooters all day and don't really look for anything better than that, and they just play it because it's the big popular thing, it's a big name, and other people are playing it. So that's fine. I mean, if they want to play that, that's cool, but I just feel like there are other games out there that deserve more credit and more success than Call of Duty does. But just to put that all aside, the Modern Warfare 3 had like a $400 million opening day, which is the biggest opening day in entertainment history. Like, that's the kind of thing that I think is a little bit more than the series deserves. But so I think some haters are taking it too far, because on Metacritic they are just like trolling the user reviews. Like, it's currently got a 2.7 user score on Metacritic with 800 negative reviews compared to the 49 mixed reviews and 488 positive reviews from users. And like, to put a negative review score on that, like to rate it something like 2 or something like that, is just ridiculous. Like, if you look at the production values and the quality of the game and all of that, I mean, personally, I don't think it's a very imaginative or enjoyable game, but the quality of what they put into that deserves more than what a lot of these people are trying to do to it and claim that it's just this horrible game. And honestly, I feel like people are just getting tired of the Call of Duty formula, because I'm hearing that it's the same thing that they've done over and over again, and I'm like, that's what I've been saying for years now, and now you guys are finally starting to get tired and you're going to turn against this franchise. But you bought it anyway, you're turning it into this big successful thing, so I don't know. It's a strange situation, but the game's successful. That's what matters to the developers, really. So of course they're going to keep on making Call of Duties, and hopefully the fanboys will reconcile their whole big, oh, I love Call of Duty, but I'm tired of them doing the same thing, even though I buy the same thing every time, and make it into this huge success. Speaking of games that I think deserve more success than Call of Duty, The Legend of Zelda Skyward Sword is coming out next week, November 20th, and IGN has posted their review of the game, giving it a perfect 10. I'm pretty excited about this game. It's in my top 2 most anticipated games of the year. My top 5 are Gears of War 3, Uncharted 3, Infamous 2, Arkham City, and Skyward Sword. Arkham City and Skyward Sword being the 2 most anticipated for this year, and the 2 that I'm most excited to play. So it's really been between the 2 of those for competing for my excitement. But it's just cool to see this game doing successfully, and throughout the year I've been playing Zelda. Like, I played the original, played through the A Link to the Past, and I'm on Ocarina of Time 3D right now, so I'm really kind of growing in my love and respect for this series. So really excited to play Skyward Sword, but I won't be getting to it for a while because I've got to beat Ocarina, beat Majora's Mask, and beat Wind Waker. I've already beaten Twilight Princess, so I'm not going to go back and play that again. But I just want to play through all of those before I play through Skyward Sword. So yeah, Skyward Sword, go get that. It's going to be a good game. As well as Arkham City and a lot of the other games I mentioned that have scored higher than Call of Duty Modern Warfare 3. But I'm not going to stoke that fire, and not going to be a fanboy. Get Call of Duty if you want to, but these games are better. The Immortals came out yesterday, so if you're not familiar with the Immortals, it's sort of like a cross between 300 and Clash of the Titans. Neither one of those movies really appealed to me that much, so I'm not really that interested in going to see the Immortals. And it hasn't been doing that well review-wise. I mean, on Rotten Tomatoes, I think it's got like a 37. But for one thing, it does star Henry Cavill, who will be playing Superman. So if you're really excited about Superman, the movie that's coming out, and want to get a feel for that actor, then that might be some incentive to check out Immortals. And if you are a fan of 300 and maybe even Clash of the Titans, even though that kind of sucked, yeah, that might be an incentive for you to check this out as well. But one of the things that's caught my interest that's going on with Clash of the Titans is Mickey Rourke is just talking a lot of stuff about Marvel, and he played the villain of Iron Man 2, and lately he's been revealing just how dissatisfied he was and how that movie turned out. And I can understand to an extent, because I was disappointed in Iron Man 2 as well. I thought it could have been a much better movie and didn't really justify its own existence to me. But he's taking it to another level. I'll read some of what he has had to say. I try to find the right director who won't compromise his or anyone else's integrity, and yet be political enough to give the studio what they want, yet put up a fight to maintain that integrity. So we're not watching some science fiction freaking wham bam, thank you man, Marvel piece of crap. Now, that's going too far. I believe Mickey Rourke's problem is that he's suggesting that some of the high up people at Marvel Studios have kind of put this pressure on the directors to make the movie simple, and they ended up cutting out a lot of what he worked hard on to make his performance complex and well-rounded, and that a lot of that was just cut and turned his character into a more two-dimensional villain, or one-dimensional, whatever. a killer who likes his bird. That's two dimensions, I guess. But he's just bitter at I feel like he's bitter at those people. And that's understandable, considering what has happened with Terrence Howard and Edward Norton. It's not much of a stretch to figure that some of the people working at Marvel Studios are just not that conducive to the creative process and limiting what goes on with these movies. But when you put that statement out there and saying the Marvel movies are crap, you are not just insulting those people. You're insulting people that have nothing to do with that. Directors, writers, actors who are working hard to make quality movies and just put out a good product. Like the people who made Captain America and Thor, they have nothing to do with the production of Iron Man. So you're criticizing their product too with this kind of statement, and it's just really rude and uncalled for, and I just think he really should watch what he's saying and stop being so bitter about Iron Man 2, because honestly, if you look at that movie and you look on Rotten Tomatoes and see some of the other stuff he's done a lot of movies that are worse than Iron Man 2. Iron Man 2 has a positive rating on that website, whereas Immortals is doing much worse than that, but he'll probably be talking trash about that a few years from now, so we'll see. I just think he really needs to settle down and watch it. The trailer for Snow White and the Huntsman came out this week, and it looks pretty cool. I'm not sure if I want to see it or not yet, but it's a very different, interesting take on the story of Snow White. It stars Twilight's Kristen Stewart and Thor's Chris Hemsworth. And interestingly to me, the director of The Immortals, Tarsem Singh, is putting out another Snow White that's coming out next year as well. His is called Mirror Mirror. So after Snow White has been touched, like no animated movies, no live action movies for a really long time, all of a sudden both of these movies are coming out in the same year and they're going to be competing against each other. They're going to be very different movies, but I think audiences are going to be like, what? So, and people are going to have their pick of which version they think is the better Snow White movie, so it'll be interesting to see how that plays out next year. Green Lantern, the animated series, debuted last night, and I haven't gotten a chance to watch it yet, but it looks like it could be pretty decent. It features CGI animation and is developed one of the developers of this show is Bruce Timm, who worked on the cartoons of the DC animated universe, which ran from Batman the Animated Series all the way up until Justice League Unlimited. So he really is associated with some very good, high-quality products, and hopefully him being involved with this show will mean that it's going to be good, and a better interpretation of the character than the movie that came out this year. The last thing I want to talk about today is that Marvel is pushing its digital comic service forward. In April 2012, they're going to start releasing their digital comics day and date alongside the print comics. So you'll be able to go online and buy a comic in digital form the same day it's out in the stores, which I think is pretty cool. I think that digital is very important to the future of trying to push comics forward and expand the audience and make it appeal to more people. Personally, as someone who already reads comics and would prefer to actually have a comic book there to sit and read and actually have a physical thing, I see a lot of advantages to digital. A, storage. When you're reading comics for a while, multiple series, and you're not getting rid of them, it becomes kind of annoying to have to buy a big box to put them all in and just figure out how you're going to keep them all straight and together. But another big thing for me is I subscribe to 3 different series of Marvel comics. I subscribe to Amazing Spider-Man, Ultimate Spider-Man, and New Avengers. And when you're waiting on your subscription to come in the mail, it doesn't come out the same day that you don't receive it the same day that it comes out in stores. You're often waiting weeks, and sometimes it gets lost in the mail, and you're waiting for months, and you'll get, like, take Spider Island, the big Spider-Man story that's going on right now. I was missing part 1 of that. I got the prelude and I got part 2, but I was missing part 1, and part 3, 4, and 5 came in the mail, and I'm still waiting for part 1 to come. So eventually I just had to give up and go to the store and buy it. And this has happened in the past where I'm waiting on a previous issue so I can read the issues that I've already got in my possession. And it's annoying because sometimes when I cave and buy it, the issue comes in the mail like a week afterward, after I've already bought it and given up on this whole waiting process, deciding that it's not going to come. So I don't know if it's really Marvel to blame. I think it might be the US Postal Service, but whatever. Waiting on subscriptions is annoying, and then having to go to the store, it's not bad having to go to the store. I mean, some of the stores are kind of dingy and dark and smelly, but going to the store is not necessarily a bad thing, but the convenience of digital does have a certain appeal to me, so I think eventually I might try to transition over to mostly reading digital stuff and getting trade paperbacks when they come out. Thank you for watching. If you like what you saw, please subscribe, and please help me out here if you think there are some things that I can improve on. Like, if you think that I go on too long ranting about certain things, that I could try to keep it down in the future. If you think that you'd like to see me talk about fewer things and maybe go more at length on a fewer amount of topics, then yeah, I could think about doing that too. But whatever you think I could do to make this type of video better, just tell me. And I'd like to be able to improve. So thanks, and tune in next time.